Welcome to the Limitless Entrepreneur Podcast, your weekly dose of strategies and mindset tools to build a business in alignment with your purpose and to get you playing a bigger game. I'm your host, Nicole Lano.
Hello, and welcome to the Limitless Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm your host, Nicole Lano, and welcome to our 100th episode. I'm so excited. This is honestly, I'm really proud that we're here. Many podcasts, actually, an interesting statistic is that most podcasts do not make it past 20 episodes, which I think is really interesting. You start them, people have big ideas, and then they can't keep up with them, or they fall off for periods of time. But we have been like clockwork here every single week with you. Every single Wednesday dropped an episode for 100 episodes. We did the 3 to launch the show, and then it's been once a week ever since, or more. We've done a couple of impromptu episodes in between, but here we are, 100, and I'm proud of us. And I am grateful to you if you've been here with us from the beginning, or if you've just hopped on. I am grateful to you being a loyal listener of this show. I appreciate it if you have shared this show with people on your social media, with your friends, in your Facebook groups, on your email list. If you have shared this show, thank you 1,000 times over, because that is, it helps more than you know. It helps more than you know. There is nothing like word of mouth recommendations. So thank you. If you have done that, and if you are thinking about doing it, I encourage you to. It helps us get the word out even more. So thank you so much. So thinking about what to talk about today. 100th episode, what do we talk about? I built this up in my mind for a long time. That's what I do. That is part of, it's part of my challenge and my genius, which is to run myself in circles a little bit before coming down on like, okay, now I know what this idea is going to be. And I really wanted this show, to be about the last 100 episodes. I wanted to kind of talk about the evolution of the show, where the show is going. And then I always want there to be a real takeaway for you, for the listener. I want you to know that I want there to be a shift. It's always the goal with this show. It has always been to shift you a bit. And now if we take a look at the last 100 episodes, the first 100, you'll see that when we started out, this show has evolved. It started out where it was always about, the tagline was always about blending strategy and energy, taking the mindset work and tools to help you become better, so that you can implement these strategies and you can use them. And while I still believe in that, my focus has shifted greatly to the me part, the evolution of me. Because the truth is that when you are in an energetically expanded space, when you have let go of the stories that have told you what will or what will not work, what you can or cannot have, what is or is not acceptable, when you've cleared all of that stuff out, and when you are able to be expanded, where you're focusing on more of what you want versus what you don't want, and you know the difference between when you're doing those two things, when you're in that space and you're not thinking about how to fix yourself, and you're looking at yourself very, very differently, and you realize that you're the creator of your own world, the strategy becomes a fun thing you get to play with. The strategy becomes a piece of the puzzle, but a very, very small piece. Because the truth is that if you are in alignment in all of those states, if you have clean energy around all of those things, around your past, if you're aligned in the present, and if you are really attached to a positive, exciting future for yourself, then the strategy starts to take care of itself. The strategy becomes less of a big deal. The strategy, you could kind of use anyone and it will work when you have those things in place. And what I've noticed is there's just one prerequisite. You have to want it. You have to want it. You're not going to take a strategy. What we do is we get really stuck on what strategy is right or wrong, which one will work. And the truth is any of them will work, but they have to be in alignment for you. And that's where the you work comes in. That's why I've brought you tools that have worked for me, like human design, like the gene keys, like the tapping, the rapid relief technique, which is a derivative of EFT for clearing out those old ways of being. All of these modalities, I bring them to you because this is what will shape who you are. And this will be what allows you to understand what strategies are right for you, which ones are correct for you, that you will enjoy using, what you will enjoy putting out there, and making decisions that are in alignment for you. And then those strategies will take care of themselves. And then you get to play and not have so much weight on whether this or that thing is the right, quote unquote, right choice. So where you'll see us going in the next 100 episodes and beyond is going to be very much on changing you internally. The strategies are a beautiful thing that I will have episodes on to layer on top of that stuff. It's very much going to be focused on making you limitless, truly making you limitless, really stepping into the bigness of the title of the show, which is the Limitless Entrepreneur. Limitless does not mean just revenue. Limitless does not just mean being able to do more work, because that was where it was focused in the beginning of this show. When the show first started, we were very much focused on get your mind right so you can do more. Energetically aligned so you can get more work done. And that's not the goal. Who wants to do more work? I want to get more out of the work that I do. I want my work to be filled with intention. I want it to be so potent that people can't, I want to be so good and so full that people have to pay attention to me. I want to stop focusing on the number of followers that I have and just focus on if I can, because who cares if I have 1 million people that know who I am but don't pay attention, versus if I have 50 people who are hanging on my every word and who I really connect with and who are dying to work with me, then I would rather have that than the rest of them who kind of don't really care. There is a difference, and it takes an evolution of self to step into that and truly mean it. Because for a long time, we say things like that, but the truth is that we still feel bad that we don't have as many people looking at us. We still feel a little bit validated by a follower count. But it really matters who we are at the end and the business that we're building. Because we can build a great business quietly. It does not have to be this big, loud launch strategy, and everybody knows that you're making millions and millions of dollars. You don't have to be shouting it from the rooftops. You can, nothing wrong with it, but it can be done quietly. And that's what I have been playing with. I have been playing with doing what feels right to me, whether it seems like the right thing to do or not, whether it's the way I've always done it or not. I got rid of every belief that kept me, and this is an ongoing process, but what it means to become the version of you who has everything that you want is really about subtraction and not addition. We think we need to add all these skills and things onto ourselves, but it's really about getting rid of the baggage that we've been carrying. Every belief that told us that we wouldn't be supported if we stepped into that space. The money wouldn't come if we did it this way. It's not possible for us to only do this much and to only post this many times on social media and still get clients. All of these rules that we've set up in our minds, it's getting rid of all of them. The next version of you doesn't have those rules. She doesn't. So what I want you to take away from this episode, because I always want there to be a shift. And that's really what the goal is, especially going forward. This is what I'm digging into. How can I shift you a little bit more? So you're going to see human design a lot more. You're going to hear a lot more about the gene keys, because the gene keys, nothing is going to open your heart up and open your energy up like the gene keys process. You're going to hear a lot more about how to step into that next level you, how to attract using your emotions and the relationship between your emotions and the quantum field, and actually attracting the things that you want. So today's shift, what I want you to, because this is something that has been coming up a lot with me lately and with the people that I work with, and this caused a huge shift in me, particularly around money. So I want you to pay attention to what you're putting on pedestals right now, or what's always been on one for you. Now, what I mean by a pedestal is, what have you made so much bigger than you? What have you, and I'll give you this, what we pursue in the energy of desperation becomes our greatest block. This is how we create blocks. We chase something. We put it so high up, so far above us, and we